All I hear is Timber and Calafiori and this guy and that guy. As great as they are, have they ever done this? Has Jess ever done that? Boy, I've seen her tackle football.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on. People deluded, I'm back again. We're graced with the presence of Jessica Black, aka She Knows Arsenal. When she's not doing stuff for the MLS or the Premier League version of the Premier League, she's gracing us people in the trenches. How are you doing, darling?
Unfocused. Apparently never just stays unfocused. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm good. Arsenal winning games, slapping United, the tears. I love it. You know, so
I want to start on that. And before I actually ask you what I want to say, yeah, make sure you're following Jessica Black, aka She Knows Arsenal. Don't be silly. It's in the title. Just smash the like button, subscribe, turn on notification bells, all of that. The first thing I want to ask you about is kind of what you just said there with the tears. What do you make of the tears? What do you make of Arsenal being labeled set piece FC? Because for me, 1 minute we're copying Pep, then we're copying Tony Pulis, then we're set piece FC. But I've offered my thoughts. Yeah, what do you say to that?
Anytime that we win a game or we do something that most of our rivals don't want to happen, there's always a narrative after the game to disregard or invalidate what we've done. It happens every time. When we drew Man City, because trust and believe, the amount of people that were shitting their pants because they thought we were going to beat them at the Etihad, the whole uproar after that, Dark Arts FC, none of their goals should have.
That's another one, yeah.
Yeah, Gabrielle's goal shouldn't have counted. Calafiori shouldn't have counted. Every time we do something that is against the script, there are a bunch of people, mouthpieces, that start putting narratives out there. And a lot of fans just like to buy into it because it invalidates what we're doing. And I watched like a reel the other day from somebody that was talking about Saka. They keep saying that all of Saka's assists are from corners, and they're actually not. It's only like 2 or 3.
So what do you want him to do? Not take a good corner?
Yeah.
Even if they do come from corners, what the hell do you want the guy to do?
But I went on a stream and somebody was saying it like it was truth. And I was like, you guys do realize that that's not true. Oh, well, I just heard it. And I'm just like, but that's what the media does. After Arsenal start playing well, we do something that's against the script. You know, Almarine was supposed to come to the Emirates and bop us. Like, that's what everybody was hoping was going to happen.
Why was he supposed to bop us? Because he's got designer clothes and a Rolex. That's crazy.
And it didn't happen. So it had to be cheating. It had to be something that's not real, like something that doesn't count. And even when we beat them last year at the Emirates, it was all, but the Garnacho goal, but Declan Rice's goal was deflected. So what? Yalla. Put the 3 points in the bag, please. Like,
tell them again.
So annoying. So that's all it is. I just feel like anytime we do something that's against the script, they have to invalidate it in some way. And now it's corners. You know, I saw Obi Mikel going off about it and, oh, you spent all this money and your main source of whatever is corners. And it's like, it's not. Them minimizing us to a corner team when we have 8 goals from open play in the last like 4 games.
We got 15 goals in 4 games. John Obi Mikel, shut up, man.
Yeah, I'm like, we're not just a corner team. We're a good side that can play good football, but also defends well and also is exceptional at set pieces. It's not just one thing. So, yeah, and I'd love to have somebody ask Jamie Carragher what happened to Mourinho ball. Because a couple of weeks ago, you guys were saying that we're just a Mourinho team. Mourinho don't play like we did against Nottingham Forest and West Ham and Sporting, do they? So it's just bullshit.
Do you think we rely on set pieces, though?
Huh?
Do you think we rely on corners and set pieces? Do you think we've become that team? Like, let's hone it in. Forget all the outside noise and just talk within Arsenal fans. Do you think we're reliant on that?
No, I don't think we rely upon it. I think it's a safety net for when our forwards are not clinical, or we're not able to open teams up the way that we're used to. I think it's like the same thing that if you had the type of striker or attacker that made something out of nothing, it's very similar. Most teams want to play with a system and a way of play that like creates chances and you don't have to rely upon any one thing. If we had a striker, it'd be the same thing. To me, it's no different than Holland bailing Man City out or Salah bailing Man City out. This is our version of bailing ourselves out because we don't have that type of striker. So for me, we don't rely upon it. Every team has games where they don't play to the best of their ability and they have something else where they can just kind of nick it. And that's our thing is set pieces. And I also like that when teams try to stop whatever we're going to do in open play, if we score an early goal off a set piece, it just throws their whole game plan out of the water. And that's how we get those games like we do against what we did against West Ham, where we scored like 5 in the first half. So I don't think we rely upon it. I do think that, when we're struggling to score goals, which happens when you don't have clinical forwards, we use it. But like, it's not a big deal. If this was any other team, they'd be talking about,
They're finding a way to win. They got grit. They got
reinvent.
determination.
Oh
All
my
that jazz.
gosh. It's only a problem. I mean, what do you think? Do you think we rely upon it too much? What
No,
are
I
your
think
thoughts?
it's over. I think it's overstated. I think naturally, of course, my fan, like off the wax, my opinion as an Arsenal fan, I'm a Wenger baby. I want to see source. I want to see creativity. I want to see all of that jazz. Yeah, but if we can do that and score from corners, great. Like I genuinely believe all the nonsense they say. Corners are like penalties. We see the Arsenal fans going crazy. That's something. If we can, I'm exaggerating a bit, but if we can get 10, 20 extra goals via set pieces, who the hell wouldn't be for that? And I don't know about anyone else, but I do know if you give Arsenal 13 corners, we're going to score 2. Obviously, how do you earn corners? You've got to take the ball from one side of the pitch to the others. And I don't understand this narrative of we're just playing for corners. No, we're not. Do you like whether you rate Arteta or Arsenal or not? Do you know how stupid it is to actually just stop and think about what you're talking about? Do you really think Arsenal are sitting there over 90 minutes and thinking, yeah, we're going to get a set piece and score? And what I would say to that is if you have a problem with Arsenal via set pieces, if all we are a set piece FC, pardon my French, fucking stop the corners then, innit? It's as simple as that. You let Saliba score with his ass. Pause. What do you want me to do? It's not my fault. Timber is like 6 foot plus, but probably for Man United and Arsenal at the time, he's probably one of the shortest players on the pitch. If you let one of the shortest players on the pitch score, you've done something wrong. And if Arsenal, like, let's be honest, because Mikel Arteta has been here for a while and we kind of know what he's going to do. We know we can score via set pieces. We know the right-hand side is going to make things happen. We play out from the back. We go long to David Raya. I mean, from Raya to Havertz, and we win the first and seconds. If you know all of this stuff, stop it happening then, innit? Because when Arsenal didn't rely on corners, when we were a soft team, people had issues. Now we're doing what used to be to our detriment. People have a problem. The goalposts move, man. And I don't know about you, Jess, but for me, I know if I was an Arsenal, which I am an Arsenal fan, I know it's not nice to see the media not paint the right narrative to kind of belittle it to we were just relying on corners, etc. Stop looking for outside validation. We know what we do. We had 13 corners, over 30 plus entries into their box, 6 shots on target to Manchester United's none. Stop and think. Yeah, if we relied on corners, great. But what did Man United offer? Yeah, Raya had to make 1-2 saves, literally. But what did they bring to the table? We played Kivio and fucking Zinchenko and kept a clean sheet. What are we talking about here? It's annoying, man. I don't know about you,
Yeah.
Jess, but I just think fans should just allow it in.
Yeah, and like before the game, people were obviously Man United versus Arsenal brings a level of like anxiety that only comes with those historical rivalries. Like,
Yep.
it's very rare that you have a rivalry outside of an area. We're not from the north. We're not a Manchester side.
No, it's a London derby, Jess, man. Half of their fans live in
Oh
London,
yeah,
man. It's a London
I know
derby,
that.
Jess, man.
But it's just one of those where it's like it just adds something extra. And so I kind of understood it, but people were like panicking about, oh, but Man United, but they played Everton. We are not Everton. We played Liverpool at the Emirates and should have won. They were
None of the
never,
top 6 have beat us so far this season.
they were never going to walk up to the Emirates and bop us. It was never going to happen. They offered absolutely nothing going forward as they needed to maintain their shape. And we were just really good defensively and solid. And we were actually calm. That's one thing that I have to say is that, are you there? Sorry.
I'm there, man.
Yeah, I just felt like we were really calm, cool, and collected. We didn't panic, even though we couldn't break them down. And if things were different in the second half, we would have scored 3 or 4. We had, a marginal offside for Saka that he should have put that away. Martinelli had one that he should have, passed to someone else.
Partey and Kai Havertz
So
should have scored as
yeah,
well.
Partey. So I think if we do those things too, the narrative is different, but we just did it. It just happened to be the set pieces. So if we didn't create anything else, like maybe I could understand more, but I don't really care. I just feel like it's
Facts.
only because it's Arsenal. Arsenal tax is so heavy. If this was anyone else, they'd be lauding the team for reinventing set pieces. Like
He's preaching.
Arteta
Facts.
and Yover are literally changing how people view corners, and even our throw-ins are utilized differently than anyone else. People
Facts.
are going to be like, for all the rivals that are like, well, you guys are set piece. I guarantee you within the next 6 to 8 months, 12 months, you guys will get things of you guys either trying to poach Yover from us or you guys getting set piece coaches and trying to imitate what we're doing or trying to figure out how to stop it. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's just not something that we've seen before. People utilizing it the way that we do. We're basically like a basketball team or a football team.
I
You
mean,
just
Moreno said that. You're right, man. He said they're like an
yeah.
NBA team, rightly or wrongly.
So they should be writing articles about how this is just like not being seen, not, oh, Arsenal are doing set pieces and defend better. I mean, why was Maguire just standing up there doing this? Like
Why
he's
did
on the
Saliba
Titanic.
score with his ass crack? Pause. Why is he
Yeah.
score with his booty? Is that
So,
Saliba or is it Cardi B? Like, was twerking and scoring goals. So do something about it, really and truly. It's jarring.
yeah.
Would you think Nicholas Jova, excluding Arteta, is the most important man at Arsenal right now? In terms of
I
the coaching
mean,
stuff.
yeah, I would say so. I think, yeah, I would say so. I like that I'm hearing that him and AirPod Albert and all of them are getting like new deals. I think that that's important. And you know, I I get that because we want to do other things and we want to see a striker and all that kind of stuff, that having your goalkeeper coach, or not your goalkeeper, but your set piece coach and all that kind of stuff is like super important. But I think you want to know that the people that are on the sideline next to Mikel are adding value, and they are. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to complain about that. That's totally separate than, but we need a striker. It's totally separate. And so I like that he's earning his money. I like that Inaki Kanye has finally gotten it right with a goalkeeper.
Do
Because
you trust
before
him?
that, I was looking at him like,
Do you
what are you
trust him?
doing? I don't trust him, but he got Raya right.
He got
He
right,
got that.
but there's
He
runners to
ate
the
that.
man there.
Who?
Runnison and that.
Oh,
That's a big
Runderson.
L. I'm never gonna
That's
forgive you for that.
it's a big L, but it didn't cost us that much, did it? It was just embarrassing, wasn't it?
Easily the worst goalkeeper I've seen play for
Yeah, for
Arsenal.
sure.
But you're right.
100%. Worst goalkeeper. But I mean, identifying Raya and forcing the club to Ben Ramsdale, as tough as it was in the moment, Raya is special. I like him. I think he's so good. Um, he showed Onana levels, and I like that because everybody was like,
Onana
Onana.
was time wasting from minute one. They don't like to
Yeah,
talk about that. They
yeah.
played for. Let's be honest. United played for a draw, man. Like, I'm not dissing it because I hear it, but
Yeah,
you played for a draw. You set
because
up
they
not
didn't
to
want to get
concede.
stomped. They didn't want to
Yeah,
get
bro. You
stomped.
set up not to concede. You didn't want to score against us. Obviously, the first half, I personally feel that I don't think we showed too much respect to United, but I think we showed too much respect to United, and I think we could have played a bit more football. Second
Yeah,
half, I think that became redundant. I think Odegaard woke up, and I saw your tweet, and I agree with it in that. Not that Odegaard was dead, but I think since he's come back from his injury, that was probably the slowest game he played. But Man United, like when you get away from Arsenal, Man United, it's just a game on paper. Just win the game and keep it moving. Fulham's a bigger test, if I'm honest with you. What have you made of our top 6 record this season? Because me and you have done a lot of streams. Sometimes we've been a lot more optimistic than negative. Yeah, we can talk about maybe we should have won against City, we should have won against Liverpool, but we played what? United, City, Liverpool, Spurs, whoever else, and we haven't lost. And I think it's fair to say, Mikel Arteta, since you walked into now, our performances and how we play against the top 6 is dramatically better. But what have you made of our top 6 record so far this year?
I mean, it's exceptional. I think it's great. I don't worry about us against the top 6 teams. I don't, because I know that we're going to set up well and we're going to perform. Under Mikel, last couple of years, we've been good against top 6 teams. So I don't worry about it. And you're right. We should have more points. We should have beat Liverpool, and we should have held on and
Trust.
beat Man City. You know, I'm
And Brighton. I know they're not top 6, but Brighton as
yeah,
well.
I'm
100%.
annoyed that we don't have those points because we should have had those. That being said, that's why the Fulham games, the Bournemouths, the Brentfords, these types of games scare me more because on the odd day we'll drop our levels and all of a sudden it'll be chaos. And so, yeah, don't worry about us against the top 6 teams. We're good against them. Chelsea are flying, but they looked average against us when we were really bad.
Another
Liverpool,
game we shot ourselves in the foot.
yeah, Liverpool played against an Odegaard-less Arsenal and should have lost. You know, I don't worry about those. It's the Fulham game that's coming up this weekend that worries me just a little
Chat to me
bit.
about Fulham then. Because like you've said it a couple of times, it's worrying. And for what it's worth, check out the stream we just did on Jess's channel. But I'm with you with that. I think Fulham last season was probably our worst performance in the Premier League. You look at their form, they're flying. They got the Iwobis, the Smith Rowes, the Harry Wilsons, etc. Why does that worry you then?
It just worries me because even like earlier on in the season, we're playing at home against Leicester and Southampton, and we made hard work of it. And I know that
Amen.
the statistics look good for our, but statistics don't tell the whole story that we're conceding goals to teams that we shouldn't be, and it should be smoother sailing than what it was. We should not have to bring in our starters against Southampton to salvage the game. Shouldn't
Amen.
take us that long to. Leicester should not be scoring the goals that they do against us. They're a really poor team, and we're at home. So I think that's what worries me. Fulham are good. They're a good team that can hurt us. They have attackers that are playing really well, and they have no pressure. I think that's the thing is when we play against teams that are outside the top 6, we're a big scout, and if they lose, no one cares. But if they win, they're in the headlines for months.
She's
So
not lying.
we are a massive scalp, and there's players that are motivated. Emil, Iwobi, and
Who?
Iwobi's playing really good. Iwobi.
No. Before that, who did you say?
Oh, Emil's motivated. When's the last time he scored for them though? Been a while.
I don't know, man, but I don't think he should have left, man. Smith Rowe,
Yeah.
he's wavy.
So
He's better than your guy,
but
Fabio Vieira. I know that much.
I mean, Fabio's actually like scoring right now for Porto. So there you go.
You seen him score? Have you seen him score?
Yeah, he scored twice in the last 2 games.
You watched that game, yeah?
I didn't watch
You
the
watched
game.
that?
I don't have to.
You're shameless, man. You're dead. I'd rate him more if he scored in MLS.
Oh my gosh, no, you wouldn't, because you rate Gyökeres. So be serious.
I rate your charisma. I rate your charisma.
Yeah, and he's scoring in that same league. So there you go.
He's doing it in the champs as well, to be fair.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think Emil is going to be motivated. I have it on my bingo card that he scores against us.
I don't think you're wrong.
So, yeah, Fulham are not a team to be underestimated, and I think in the beginning of last season when we drew to them, because I was at that game, it was just unseriousness.
You're bad luck, man. Stop visiting England and watching us. You're bad luck. I blame you then.
I've actually never watched us lose in the Emirates. I've been to at least 8 games. Never watched us lose.
Yeah, don't ask me. I've definitely seen something else still.
Yeah, I've never seen it in the flesh. And I went to Emery games too, by the way. So,
oh my god! Don't please, Jess. Less about Emery. Oh my god, I've been to so many Emery games. I was at the last one when he the one that led to him getting sacked, and fans were like, "You're getting sacked in the morning." When you hear that chant, you're done at him, man.
Yeah, but I think Fulham, like I said, they're under no pressure. We're under all the pressure. At the beginning of last season when we played them, we just chucked it in the back of our net in the first 8 seconds of the game. I was barely even looking at
your guy Ramsdale.
He wasn't my guy. He wasn't my guy. I led the charge against him, unfortunately.
You did, and to be fair, people need to give you your flowers because you were saying he's not bad, but I remember you saying why are you not having Ryan's better than him? Allow it, man.
We're never gonna win anything. We were never gonna win anything with Ramsdale.
Why though?
I think just because he just has that thing about him where he has that moment in him of indecision. And the thing about him that used to infuriate me is that he would get us into trouble. And then because he would save us after, people were like, but he saved us. And I'm like, but he got us into that trouble in the beginning. So we just need to not get into the trouble. And I think that's what Ryan
is better than kill.
Prevents the trouble from even starting. And so he chucked it in Saka weirdly passes it back. Partey is not where he needs to be because he's playing right back. We have a weird center back pairing of Saliba and White. It's not working. And then they just Pereira just kicks it to the back of the net. We're down 1-0. It takes us ages to equalize. Then we get ahead, then we turn around and concede on a corner. We just weren't ourselves. It reminded me a lot of the Arsenal pre this last international break. So
Yeah,
they're coming up against an Arsenal side that are not in a bad patch. So I wonder how it'll be again, because even I think that was like our third loss in the row or something like that when we played against Fulham in like December before we went to Dubai. So we're not in a bad period. So for them, it's not a good time to play us. But equally, they're a test because they're better than they were last season, in my opinion.
100%.
There's no reason why they should have even scored against us last season. This season, they're better than that. So it'll be interesting.
You're not lying at all, man. And you said it there. Like, we should be winning this season. They've probably been, I believe, anyways. Like, and I'm sure you agree. We're not watching Fulham week in, week out. But when you look at the Premier League, in terms of, I won't say the neutrals' favorite, but in terms of the neutrals' teams that are doing the business, I think Bournemouth deserve their plaudits. And I think Fulham have been doing their thing. Do you think, bit of a twofold question, yeah? Do you think Fulham is a bigger test than Man United midweek? And how do you feel about our Premier League title chance? Because we've kind of turned our form around.
Do I think Fulham is a bigger test than United? Yes, because we're always up for the top 6 games where again we lower our standards in the games against Fulham and Bournemouth and stuff like that. So yeah, I do think that this is a tougher test. I do, especially because they're in a different period, like they're playing their football, and obviously Amorim didn't want them to get whooped, so they played a more restrained way. Fulham will play their game. Marco Silva, he's never sat back against us, not once. So
Amen. You're not
they're
wrong.
gonna fly, and so we're gonna have to be on our best, in our best behavior. We're gonna have to be playing well, and so they're sitting in 6th right now with a win against us. They can hop all the way up to 5th.
I mean,
So
you look at the league table. This is news to me.
well,
I don't look at the league table. I don't know
I'm
what's
just
going on.
looking at their like what they stand to gain from a win against us, so it is a tougher test. And what was the second part of the question? Because you had a twofer.
How confident are you about us winning the league then? Because we had the
Oh, I'm
bad
not.
games. We was a bit shaky. Now we're scoring goals. We're turning it around. We're getting
I'm not.
results. Like, are you more confident that we're gonna win the Prem? Like, how
No,
bullish are you with it?
not necessarily. I just think that we need to just wait and focus until we get to the second half of the season, past like January 1st, and then start looking at the table. I just think we need to string together like 8 wins. We really
So that's
do.
unbeaten for the what's left of this season, and probably
Yeah,
like until mid
we
January, we
do.
need to go unbeaten.
Yes, we do. We need to. I just don't feel like we need to be hyper focused on Liverpool. I know that they dropped points against Newcastle, but we just need to focus on ourselves. City also will pick up form. I know that they look like crap, but they just won. Kevin De Bruyne comes back into their team, and all of a sudden they're beating teams 3-0 again. We need to focus on ourselves. We really do. So
These are some tough games, though, Jess, man. Fulham away, Monaco, Everton, twice against Palace, Ipswich, Brentford, Brighton, Man United in the FA Cup, North London Derby, Aston Villa, Emery, Dynamo Zagreb, Wolves away, Girona away. And then on the 1st of February, City will stop
yeah,
there.
but
But, like,
go back
come
up.
on.
Go back up. I said don't even look until January 1st. These are the games that I feel like if we don't pick up 3 points against Fulham, 3 points against Everton at home, get to the semifinals of the Carabao Cup, beat Crystal Palace away from home, beat Ipswich at home, then beat Brentford away from home. I don't want to hear anything about a title race. You need to pick up
Trust.
all of those points. You need to have 3 points in all of them games, and we need to be in the semifinals of that Carabao Cup, and we need to beat Monaco at home. So I don't care about anything beyond January
You ain't
1st.
lying.
You should look at it until after that. We are not anywhere near a position to be like looking at Liverpool right now.
Is it
We
make
don't.
or break time then for you? When you deep
Yeah,
it? Because as you said, like, I need to get 3 points. We got champs, we got quarterfinals, we got
yeah,
Prem. Is it make or
yeah.
is this where the league is won or lost for you then?
I think so because I think these are if you don't get these points, it's going to be harder in the second half of the season. If we're in a position like we were last season where we need to win every single game at the back end, we're in trouble.
I'm not on that. I can't lie. I think you're speaking facts. I'm not on that.
Yeah. So I just think we need to focus on ourselves, put our head down, do our work, not slip up against these teams because Ipswich is one of those types of teams too that
Yeah,
they're not
100.
good, but they can hurt you. You
Look
know,
at
so
look at what they did against Liverpool, Man United, and Spurs. It's not a walk in the
yeah,
park. Everyone laughed at us for even losing to Bournemouth. What have they done since that?
yeah. So we just need to relax and focus on ourselves and play good football. And I'm looking at the Carabao Cup as an opportunity to nick a trophy as well. I keep mentioning it, but it's mostly
You
for the
do.
boys. It's mostly for the team to feel what winning feels like. And you've worked hard to get to the semifinal or potentially after if you can beat Crystal Palace. We got Man United in the first round of the FA Cup. Super unlucky, but we've been kind of lucky in the
Nah,
Carabao
just nah, fuck
Cup.
that. It's not unlucky. That's an easy game. We're moving to them, but go on.
Yo, not
Nah,
with
we're
a
moving to them.
rotated lineup. You know we're gonna rotate.
Fuck Man United,
No,
regardless. Like, just come on. The energy on your stream was different. Fuck Man United. You're not wrong, but fuck them.
fair.
Like,
Okay.
no, smoky
Yeah.
settings.
So yeah, that's until January 1st. I'm really not trying to even look up. Heads down, do your work.
I want to put you on the spot, yeah. Well, I'm gonna go through these fixtures until until I'm gonna ask you until February the 1st. Yeah, obviously you're not a fortune teller, but like I just want to take a gaze into how you feel. Do you think we'll like just tell me win, lose, draw? Do you think we'll beat Fulham?
Yeah.
Do you think we're winning them against Monaco?
Yeah.
Do you think we'll beat Everton at home?
Yes.
Do you think we'll win in the quarterfinals?
Yep.
Do you think we'll win at Selhurst Park in the Prem?
Yep.
Do you think we'll beat Ipswich on the 27th of December?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we'll win at Brentford?
Yep.
Do you think we'll win at Brighton?
This is where it gets fucked up. We draw. We'll probably draw.
Fair. A draw's not the worst. Do you think we'll beat United in the FA Cup?
I'll be positive. Yeah.
Do you think we'll win the North London derby? I'm looking at you funny now if you say something else.
No, I think we'll beat them. I don't.
Okay. She does know Arsenal. Do you think we'll beat Unai Emery's men?
Yeah.
Zagreb?
Yeah.
Wolves away?
Yeah.
Girona away?
Might draw or something, but it won't matter.
And the last one, City.
I think we'll draw them. I think we'll draw at home.
And I only asked you that, yeah, because obviously kind of air 2025. Do you think as a minimum, we have to go unbeaten for what's left of 2024? And I guess I could extend that to at least the City game to have any hope of winning something serious.
Yeah, we're 7 points behind Liverpool. And they're not going to just start dropping point. They don't have that same thing that we have where they drop in 3 games. That's a us thing. That's not a them thing. They lost to Nottingham Forest and then turned around and won like their next 11 games. So just because they drop points against Newcastle doesn't mean that, okay, now they're going to just start dropping points. We need to be damn near perfect. We have really set ourselves up poorly. 7 points off the pace this early is tough, so especially because we're in all 4 competitions. So I'm expecting, because I've seen us do it before, like a very, very good like string of games where all I see is green. Win, 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 win. If not, forget it. Forget it. Forget it.
How confident are you that we win a trophy this season? And do you think, twofold question, do you think Arteta has to win a trophy this year?
I think we will win the Carabao Cup. Oddly, it feels like it. It feels it's. I didn't say it was enough, but
I'm asking. I'm asking. I ain't saying you said that.
No. At the bare minimum, you have to be winning like the FA Cup or something like that. And even with that, if Slot wins the Prem, I just feel even if City come from behind, pass us and win, I'm still going to be looking at you like,
Does Arteta have to hold slaps for that?
Yes.
Do you have to hold his hand out? And
I really do think like this season was because of where City are at and the fact that this is what we've been waiting for. There's a certain section of the fan base that said this would happen and we would be ready, and we are not. We are not.
Why aren't we ready
advantage.
Though? For you, why aren't we ready?
Because we didn't do what we needed to do in the summer.
What was that?
Buying attackers. We needed to freshen things up.
I mean, I'm just being devil's advocate, Jess.
No,
Kai
yeah,
got
I mean,
double figures. Trossard has
that's
shown in the last 2 years he get double figures. Saka
yeah,
has got double figures. Why
yeah.
did we need another attacker though?
I just,
I don't
I just,
disagree. I'm just being devil's advocate.
yeah, I just feel like the group needed a boost. I think when you look up front and, well, let's just put it this way: our defense should have won the league last season. They
Mm-hmm.
played a
Facts.
blinder. They could have looked at everybody in the locker room on the end of the season and said, "You lost,
You didn't do your
not me.
job.
You lost." And so they were never going to have the season that they had the season prior, where they basically carried us through a really difficult
True.
period. And because they were even scoring goals for us, Gabrielle,
And, and and still are. And still are.
yeah, and still are. So I think we just needed to alleviate some of the pressure on the defense and also get players like Odegaard and Saka to lift, them as well, because they're both super creators. They just need somebody to feed the ball to,
With a bit more
and we just
juice, man.
didn't do the bare minimum. When I look at the difference between us and Liverpool, I just think that they have more up front, and so
I
I
don't
just
think you're
feel
lying.
like, yeah, 2 seasons in a row not addressing that, that could be the difference between some of the games that, we played against Brighton. Everybody said that it was impossible for us to win that game. We had clear-cut chances at the end of that game, even with 10 men, that a striker, an actual striker, no offense to Kai, puts that in the back of the net. Bournemouth, probably, right before we concede the Christie goal, Martinelli should be putting that back in net. He doesn't. So it's fine
Facts.
margins, and we didn't do enough to make sure those margins go in our favor. So now we're 7 points behind. And yes, we're a good team, and when we're playing well, we're hard to beat. But we just don't do enough off the pitch, I feel like, to make sure that we have almost too much. We
Why is
always
that?
have just barely enough.
Why do you think that is though? Because I don't think you're wrong. I agree with you, but just in case someone's never heard me or you speak before, why do you think that is? Because for me, I think you're bang on the money. Just I think we're always a couple pennies short of a pound or a dollar where you're concerned. It's like for me, I think if we got a striker, we got no cam. If we got a cam and a striker, we have no DM. If we got DM, a striker, and a cam, we got no centre back. If we got no right-sided centre back, we ain't got a left one. If we've got the whole defense, we don't have a goalie. If we got a goalie, we ain't got defense. Why does it feel like we're always short, and kind of like with this, like it feels like it's always a next season thing with Arsenal?
Yeah, I think it's just I just think that they've played this whole like perfect project thing a little bit too close. I think you can't predict the future, and I think they tried to predict this fall off from City. I think this was the season that they anticipated being able to do whatever. But they want everything to be perfect settings. I keep asking the question, like, why is it that because you don't get Sesko, you can't get anything? Why is
Ask
it
them
that
again, please, because I don't know.
yeah, why is it that when you can't get Nico Williams, there's no other option? What
And,
is
and, and
that?
and just on that, Arsenal fans fall for it as well. Like, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I do like the fact that if we don't sign a player that we want, we sign no one. Because me and you have seen the other way where we sign someone we don't like. But it always feels like there's this mythical kind of guy that if we don't sign one, we have to get another. I think you're bang on the money, and I think that's the best comment I've heard for you on the live stream. Because I think Arsenal fans fall for that.
Yeah, they do.
Respectfully to Arsenal. Are we Real Madrid? Are we City with what they've accomplished? If we was
Yeah.
either of them teams, I could hear it, but we're not.
Yeah. Because I hate to use them as an example because obviously they're rivals. But Chelsea asked us for a meal and we didn't give them a meal. And then they turned around and got Cole Palmer. They also were in the mix for Nico Williams. They couldn't get Nico Williams either. So they turned around and got Pedro Neto. Why is it that we go from Nico Williams to Sterling and they go from Nico Williams to Pedro Neto? Why do they have so many
A man
choices?
that we was onto, apparently.
Yeah, so they've played this
Or
whole perfect, needing the perfect signings, needing the perfect settings, needing City to fall off, when really we should have done what was necessary in that first season. And then
yeah,
because we failed in the first season, we should have done even more for the second season because those were our not our two best chances, but I just feel like there's too much pressure on this season. We didn't do enough, and now we're not ready. So yeah, there's too many, it's not just City now, it's Liverpool, it's Chelsea, everybody's kind of in the mix. We had 2 seasons where it was just us and City.
golden
And we didn't do
opportunity.
it. Yeah, golden opportunities. So they tried to perfect it and it didn't work. And I'm just hoping that we look at this and we're like, okay, we can't just predict the future. We need to almost do too much. Make sure that we have too much, never leave no gaps in our team. Let's try that for once, because having gaps hasn't worked for us for 20 years. This is not the first regime
Breaks my
that
heart
has
that you
left
say
gaps.
that and that I agree, but you're speaking facts.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm disappointed that we're so far behind, but I don't think Liverpool are going to win every single trophy this season. So we need to go for whatever we can. But the Prem, if we're not perfect from now until January 1st, we can freaking forget about it.
Facts.
can
No,
forget
you're
about
not. No, you're not lying. You're not lying. What do you make of this whole, like, you see this comment from Samuel, like, Mikel Arteta is the Spanish Tony Pulis, and the Tapas Pulis needs a trophy. I'm tired of offering my foot, so it's lovely to have a guest here. Take it away.
I mean, about the Tony Pulis stuff, like not playing.
Yeah, man, all of this, because like you said at the start, 1 minute is you're copying Pep, then it's set piece,
Yeah.
then it's Tony Pulis.
Arteta
I don't know.
is his own man. He is his own coach. He is
Spanish
very
David
unique.
Moyes, if anything.
He's unique. I don't think Arteta. I think if Arteta was not an Arsenal manager and he was doing some of the things that he's doing now, it would be different, especially if he's not at like a top club. But I think they just talk about him plainly. He wants to be able to be everything in every moment. He wants to be a chameleon. I think that's Arteta's way. To be able to be defensive when he needs to. He wants to be attacking when he needs to. He wants to be able to utilize set pieces. He wants to do all those things. He wants to be good off the ball. He wants to be good on the ball. He's not like Ange. Ange is an attacking manager and attacking manager
Man,
only.
fuck Ange, man. We ain't praising Ange on this, bro. You can't do and Ange Postecoglou, you can't defend, bro. Come get your 3 points, man. You dickhead. Fuck all of that, just. We're not praising my man.
Do all those
Dead
things.
that, just. Dead that, just. You lost me now. Dead that. We're not praising him.
I'm not even praising him. I'm just saying that in comparison, Ange is one thing. He is an attacking manager, and that is it. Arteta's not
naive with the thing, though.
Huh?
He's naive with it, though, because Arteta was like, seriously, Arteta was like that at the start. Arteta was trying to, there's two things with Arteta. Arteta what people forget, when Arteta first took the job, was trying to do that attacking thing 24/7, and then he did the thing where, you remember there was games where we would half be in it, like with United against Amarin, to be fair, where we're half in it. Tomiyasu might make a mistake and we lose, but people are onto him. Like, I can't sit here and say, you can criticize, I'm not saying you, Jess, but people can criticize Mikel Arteta. One thing they can't do is say there has to be, there is a correlation with us getting more clean sheets, defending better, being a bit more horrible, with us being higher up the table. Like, it's like people just want us to be like Spurs. And where are they?
Yeah, no, I agree. At the beginning of the season, when there were some Arsenal fans that were gassing Ange, I said, just wait. I was like, just wait, because they will be below us. When they slapped City, there were people in my chat saying, why can't we do that? I'm like, we don't need to do that. Look at our top 6 record versus theirs. I think
Tell them again.
He's well-rounded, and he's learned, I feel like, over these 5 years, who he actually is. And sometimes he goes too far in one direction. Maybe he lost his way a little bit at the beginning of the season, but the way that we're playing now and the way that we played at the back end of last season, I think that's who Mikel is. Defensively solid, good off the ball, but we cut you down with the ball too. We're patient.
So is it David Moyes thing?
Our way. Yeah. And I never thought for a second that he was going to be Arsene's second coming. Not even for a second.
You can't. I like Arteta, but you can't chat to Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger's a big boy in this. You're not on what he's on.
Even from like a stylistic standpoint, because Arteta started off
playing great football.
Arteta started off with a 3-4-3. I don't think he would have never done that. He would have went instantly into attack and playing beautiful football. Arteta said, no, we're going to stiffen things up because we are not good enough. So Arteta's always been a little bit more pragmatic. To call him Mourinho, though, or Pulis or whatever, is just bullshit, because at the back end of last season, we were playing the best football in the league. And people also were not scoring against us. So it's just a matter of, can we put together that type of football for a full season? Because we're the best right now. We're the best team in 2024. And that breaks my heart, because, it's not just about 2024. No, we are. We actually are. Statistically, we have picked up the most points in 2024. Now that City have dropped off, We're the best team in 2024. I'll show you the chart.
Rise it up. Let's show us. We want to
Here,
know them things there.
I'll send it to you.
Darling, we
I'll
want to
send
know
it to
them things, boy, because that's a big statement. We have to see some receipts for that one there.
Hold on, let me get it because I know I bookmarked it because I was like, wow, that sucks.
Why are you looking for that? Yeah, why are you looking for that? Let me ask you another question. Yeah, why do you think Arteta spent the least on the forward line?
No, maybe I don't know.
Arteta might be a reborn. Like he might just not want that. Like, do you think? In fact, a better question: do you think we're trying to do the City thing with Haaland, or do you think we're trying to mimic the Liverpool thing, where obviously Havertz is not Firmino, but Firmino in terms of the facilitator, you've got Saka, which would be our Salah, and Martinelli's not Mane, but that. Like, do you think we're trying to copy the Liverpool thing, or we're trying to do the City thing? Why you're looking for what you're looking for?
In terms of how we spend money?
How we spend money, I'll be real, darling, how we score them goals. Like, because we need to score goals.
I don't think we try to do the Liverpool thing. Let's be so real about that right now. The Liverpool thing is not what we're trying to do because Liverpool attack freely, and we don't. I think we are more prescriptive like City, and deal with the percentages. I think Arteta is big on like what's most likely to bring the outcome that we want, and that's why we enter the penalty box as much as we do. It's why we make certain types of passes. That's why we don't try to do actually score from free kicks. We try to because the statistics on that mean that you're less likely to score than if you whip it in. So I think he's all about that, and I think Pep is about that as well. But I think what Pep does is he never allows his team to lack creativity, and I think Arteta allows that a little bit, maybe too much. So yeah, I have it here. I'll send it to you.
We're about to get some knowledge, people. We're waiting though. I can't see nothing in the private chat.
Here you go. Or yeah, I could put it in the private chat. I was gonna send it to you.
Yeah. It's easier. I'll just copy and paste it. And
yeah.
And while we're here, like, do you think how much do you blame the Cronkies now for our failure to win the title? Like, is that dead? Yeah, like I only say that because my man's commented that, like, is it boring? Like, how far does that go? Like, if we don't win the league, is it all on the Cronkies? Because indirectly, you could say everything comes from the owner, but is that dead for you? I only say that because my man commented it. Like, is it dead now? Like, is it dead?
The Cronkies? Oh,
like,
no.
If we don't, like, boom, like, better yet, boom, we get to May, we finish second. There's no cups, there's no Prem. Obviously, Arteta has to hold licks. Me and you will speak about Arteta, but how much of it is down to the Cronkies? They did give my man a new deal before a ball was kicked this year.
Let me share my screen because it's at the bottom
right
there.
Oh, there she is. Go on, just take it away.
But no, I think what the Cronkies have done, I think, is probably give a little bit too much grace to Edu and Arteta without checks and balances. I think we don't make a change quick enough. I think Edu should have gone a little bit maybe sooner. I think they should, look at, okay, I do. I think he should have went sooner. But I think, just blaming the Cronkies doesn't, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, are we not done doing that? I think what the Cronkies are maybe on the road are what they're on the hook for is more like no checks and balances because they're kind of like T owners.
Zoom in a bit for us as well before you like when you're gonna talk about that. But go on.
Oh well, here. So
now zoom in for us. Zoom in. You're in control. Zoom in.
Oh, I can't zoom in any more than this. This is all it is. Damn. But here, this is pretty much. So basically, what it says is that the top 3 teams have never been this close.
Send it to me. I'll zoom in.
Okay, yeah. I think it's just easier for me to just send it to you.
Yeah. Send it to me. I'll zoom in because I can't see. I want the fans them to see. Jess is sharing knowledge with us people.
This is so I sent it to you via DM.
Go on, I'll share it. Don't worry.
But essentially, like this is like obviously like statistically or whatever, but the 11-5 model, I think it's just like how much you attack, like your XG attack minus your XG defense, and then how much you do it.
To Jess or Alex? Big up Alex, but it's
but right here, like it just basically says that Arsenal are the top team. Attack is predicted goals scored in a match versus average Premier League opponent. Defense is predicted goals conceded in a match versus average Premier League opponent. And then the goal difference, or the difference between that is, and I feel like this makes sense because Liverpool,
100.
City, and Arsenal are the top teams, which that's who you would imagine. Our defensive record is what makes us so special because we're so much like, look how different 0.89 is to everybody else is above 1. So they give up more chances than we do,
Mm.
but our goals are pretty decent, even despite being so bad at the beginning of last season or this season and last season. So
Only
we're
City
really
and
good.
Liverpool have better attacks than us, which every Arsenal fan with a brain would say,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We're a very, very good side, but everything it's like we just don't have any room for error sometimes. Like it just we have too
Facts.
long of negative times. Like when we go through a bad time, it just lasts too long. And those points are what actually ends up keeping us from seeing this in trophy form. Being able to put together the end of last season for the whole season is what we need to see. And we just don't see it enough. It takes us too long to get to where we're at right now. So we are a very good team. We just are. I just
But how far does
wish.
that go, man? Because Jess, I don't think you're wrong. I have a duty to play devil's advocate. If we're that good and Arteta is that good, where's the major honors, though?
Exactly, because this isn't enough. You need to be able to account for the margins. You need to be able to account for those smaller margins. And I think that football isn't played on paper. And the part that's not played on paper is the part that you get from like a top striker or somebody that just creates something out of nothing. We've done everything we can from a coaching standpoint, recruitment and defense to make us into one of the best teams in the league. But what Liverpool and City have against us is when they have moments of adversity, it doesn't last as long, and they have the ability to win tight margins, and we don't. They don't have the games that we had against Aston Villa where we couldn't score a goal against them home or away.
Facts.
That's the difference between us winning those games or not. Is just having somebody that can create something out of nothing. What doesn't happen on paper. So if Arsenal only look on paper, which I think a lot of times they do, they look at the data, they look at the stats, and they say we're a very good side. Eventually, we will win. But they don't account for the things that happen outside of a spreadsheet. And I think a lot of our fans are obsessed with spreadsheets. I like looking at stuff like this because it tells me, like,
Let's be
from a
honest. Bare Arsenal fans. Let's be honest, Jess. Bare Arsenal fans don't know ball, man. There's bare virgins. They don't
yeah,
understand
they
football.
they
They
love
waffle about the good and the
spreadsheets.
bad, man.
Yeah,
One love
but
for
they
the super chat, Diallo.
yeah, but they'll just their thing is that there's like, the club. Eventually we'll win. But we have to almost force it. I feel like good
It's
teams
always
force it.
next season thing. I can't lie, Evra's right. Like it's always next season with our club. I love us, but it's always a next season thing.
Yeah, for sure. So I get the Cronkies thing. I think the Cronkies have some culpability, but it's not that they haven't given Arteta and Edu resources. It's that they haven't used them properly to do the one thing that all of us know that we need. Just get a striker. Like, just
Mm-hmm.
get a striker. Get somebody
Mm-hmm.
that can make something out of nothing. So we don't, play against freaking Aston Villa and not score a single goal against them in two legs. Do that. Make sure that we score
Yeah,
not just
man.
2 goals, score 2, score 3, score 4. How many games go by where we're like, "Oh, we really should have scored 3 or 4?" We have those so many times. A striker changes that. It
Does
just
it really though? Because let me ask you that, Jess. I think you're right, but being devil's advocate, yeah. Obviously, Havertz hasn't been created clear-cut chances. Does a striker really solve all of that? Because if we had Gyökeres, if we had Isaac, if we had Sesko, if we had this guy, that guy, I think we'd be saying the same kind of things, really and truly, because we're
I
not
don't.
creating, man.
I don't. I don't. And here's the reason why is because we have 2 of the most creative players in the league playing for us that don't have anybody to create for. Like
Who's
Havertz
that?
isn't even in the box. Havertz and
Yeah, but
Jesus aren't even in the box.
that's what I mean, though. But that's what I mean, Jess. Like you said, Havertz
Well,
isn't in the box.
let me put
How
this
much
let me
of it is Havertz's fault or what Arteta is being told? Arteta is telling him to do.
well, listen. People were saying for a long time that Arteta was telling Martinelli to stay wide and stay on the touchline.
I think he is, but Martinelli's falling up the place.
Only for Jorginho to debunk that on Rio's podcast by saying that the manager never tells players to stay wide. Never.
Which is
Not in
true. That's a good
possession.
point.
And so I think a lot of times we think that Arteta
Don't
is just
promote
telling
Rio on this
Havertz
platform though. Fuck Rio Ferdinand. Fuck Gary Neville. Fuck all of them. But go on.
But here's my point: is that Zinchenko put a ball into the box against Manchester United
Which
that
Nelly should have scored
nobody was there
again.
for, and it was a great ball. That is the type of ball that any striker worth his salt is putting his toe on. And so I think there's half chances that we don't even see because all of our chances have to be obvious. They have to be choreographed.
True.
And I just feel like, we have enough of those to make assumptions that the difference between us winning the league and not sometimes is just 2 or 3 goals.
You ain't lying.
Goals. It's not 10, 15 goals. It's a goal against Aston Villa at home before they score the 2. Because if we score the 1, the 2 probably don't happen.
Facts.
And that's
always change games and change momentum and change the story. You're right.
Exactly. So a striker is not about scoring 15, 16 more goals. It's just making sure that we don't draw blanks at home. Against West Ham, we're peppering them, but we couldn't score a goal.
Don't remind me of that West. I know you're talking about West Ham at home. Please don't remind me.
Yeah, so that's all I'm saying is, and let's just try it. Instead of just avoiding it every single season, make me a liar. Make me look stupid and buy a striker and let it not change anything. And then I'll be like, okay, so it wasn't that. But the fact that we haven't done it, I just feel like it's obvious.
Do you think it's too peculiar about a striker then? Because we signed Gabriel Jesus, obviously. We've been linked with Vlahovic. We've been linked with Isaac. We've been linked with a couple of Sesko. They're all very different. Like, do you think Arteta is very peculiar about the forward he wants? Like, as you've said numerous times, not only today, but on your channel, and I've echoed those, is that, goal scoring is one thing, but it's like, it's all the other facets that Arteta wants. It's almost like you're the first defender. You're a sacrificial lamb. I stand by this, and I genuinely think the people that stand to benefit from an attacking sense in an Arsenal system is Bukayo Saka on the right wing, and Martinelli can't score, and we'll definitely get onto him. One love for the super chat, but like Martinelli, I don't think the striker stands to benefit from creating chances. But where are you at with that, Jess?
I think just like going back to the conversation that we are just having about who Mikel Arteta is, I think some of the the differences in the strikers is that he wants 2 strikers that do different things so that he can do different things in different games. I think he got the false 9 that he wanted in Jesus, and I think we'll always have a false 9. I think we'll always have somebody that's not really a goal scorer, but it's more of a creator. And then he wants his Vlahovic or he wants his whatever other type of striker. It's just a matter of if we can identify the right one and be able to bring him in at the right time. So I think we'll always have a false 9 and then somebody else that's more of a goal scorer. And his perfect split right now might just be Havertz and Sesko. I just see that being what we're gonna do. It just
does that get us out the hood though?
Probably not.
Like, do you believe in that? Because me and you, we're kind of fond of Sesko. We're not doing the most saying Sesko's the guy. He's not our first target, but we fuck with him, innit? But Sesko Havertz, are we getting out the hood with that?
Well, let me put it this way. Does Sesko draw blanks against West Ham? Can he score at least 1 goal? Can he score at least 1 goal against Aston Villa?
Probably.
Can he come off of the bench and do a Duran type job for us? I think just even having that type of player could help. The margin is so fine. It may not be
small margins. You're right.
Can win the Champions League and the Premier League in 1 season with the Sesko, but I do think that it'll give us that extra 5% that we're missing because it's so close. We're so close. We're not as far as I think people think we are. I really don't.
Think Sesko's the guy though?
I think he could be in a couple of years. I don't mind banking on talent. I really don't. I think we could stand to do more of it by really talented players that are not fully developed yet.
I agree.
And developing them ourselves because we're never going to be the type of team that's going to spend 100 million every single window on one player.
Facts.
That's not who we are. We've always developed talent or bought players that are already talented that are in other leagues. And this is why the sporting director is so important. Yeah, like Kivior, exactly. Who was like amazing the other day, of course. But it's who we are. Like, I don't have a problem bringing in young talent and developing it because as long as they can offer something in the meantime. And I think people, they conflate needing development to not offering anything. And I don't think that's true.
Facts. You know, fans though, like if you're not doing like half of the fans saying Sesko is not the guy, yeah, and I'm not saying he is. Half the fans that were waffling about he's not the guy, they were wanking over him a few weeks ago. His form's been dead, the whole team's been dead, and I think we're more likely to get a Sesko than it is like or Gyökeres because he's a
Same.
development striker, because you will rotate in and out for Trossard, Trossard, Kai Havertz, etc., etc. I can't lie, Jess. I have to ask you. Me, I'm not going to offer no thoughts with this, but it's a super chat. I have to. DG and Jess, we need to be brutally honest about Martinelli. The guy is so limited, hasn't improved in nearly 2 years, very one dimensional. Need to cut. Fuck all of that. I ain't offering nothing. Jess can take it away because it's Martinelli FC till we die.
I mean, if you've been watching me, you guys know that
When
even
he's back, no one bread.
2 years ago, I was saying when people were saying that he had a higher ceiling than Saka, I laughed. I
That's
was like,
cap.
you guys
Oh,
are
yeah.
not watching the game. If Martinelli doesn't develop beyond his pace, if he loses even a little bit of it, we're in trouble. I think his decision making is questionable, which was
100%.
like front and center with the Maguire block the other day.
100%. 100
Um,
million percent.
Martinelli is a player that I just feel like not that we've developed so far, but beyond that he can't
He's a
be within
squad
the
player,
squad.
bench boy until he does
Yeah,
something better than
but
this, man.
we need something else. Like whenever you like when I watch in particular somebody like who I know people don't even want, but like somebody like Matoma who can create as well, can find a pass that looks up and finds his teammates, that can go inside outside,
To be fair, yeah.
can create opportunities or whatever. He probably does score. He scores less goals than Martinelli. Martinelli is more of
Nah,
a
he'll score probably more goals than Martinelli in the Arsenal team. Martinelli's decision making is
in an
pony. I love
Arsenal
the guy. It's pony, man. It's pony.
but that's the caveat, like against like or the counter argument to Matoma is like they just look up his goals and say, yeah, but the goals aren't there. I'm like, but
It's fucking Brighton, man. Respectfully, like, bro.
um, I'm
Martinelli,
just
you know the saddest thing is just Martinelli gets in these positions week in, week out. Matoma's bagging
yeah.
them. I won't cap.
This is the type of player that I feel like we need. Somebody that just has more tools in their
Martinelli's a bench boy
locker,
until he does
more
anything different.
layers. Yeah, more layers. And Mbappe. Martinelli is somebody that I feel like would really offer something off of the bench for us as somebody that can run at defenses when they're tired, but
Amen.
is as a starting player for Arsenal in the end game for us ended last season when he couldn't even beat Trossard for the position. Sorry, it's over.
Ain't
But
over till it's over, though. Ladder. But
but Arsenal not identifying anybody outside of Nico Williams is not Martinelli's fault,
it's
So
lazy.
yeah, exactly. So, and if you want a Nico Williams type of player, freaking scout somebody else that does
Is
similar.
he the guy though? Because he's been moving a bit mad since the Euros. He ain't really making no noise. Like he ain't really waffling about him again.
I said this on my stream the other day that when our players go through bad runs of form, we don't, it's like, but remember what they were, blah, blah, blah. This is not who they are. They'll come back into form. When it's players that we're looking at potentially that can come to Arsenal, everything that they've done prior to their bad run of form is erased. And I just feel like if Nico Williams as a young player goes through a bad run of form, that's normal for a young player, especially one that played in the Euros, played almost every single game, is a big player for his club.
True.
Give him some time, but he's not the only player that we can look at. I just really want us to get a sporting director that can identify talent outside of obvious names because it's out there. It's out there for sure. It doesn't have to be Nico Williams. It doesn't have to be Matoma. There's other players out there.
Find Dons, man. Just find someone, man. Like me, you, me, Jess, everyone in the comments. Yeah, we will say players that would be the guy and players that will stink up the place. But reality is, we're not paid to scout these guys. And as I said at the start, I hear it. I actually like the fact that Arsenal have gone from that signing a player for the sake of it to not signing someone for to not signing anyone. But we're not a treble winning City side. We are not Real Madrid. I'm not saying to sign anyone for the sake of it, but if we was them teams, I could understand not buying players better yet. You really tell me there's not players that can't improve this team. And I think fans fall for that bullshit as well. Like, oh my God, but there was no one, but we tried. That's cool. If we try to beat Fulham on the weekend and don't win, what are you not going to say? It's a results-driven business. It doesn't make sense. My last question for Jess before I let her get out of here. If you could only bring in one position in January, what would it be? As Senki has said, big up yourself for the comment.
I would probably say like a left winger. I think a winger probably for me just because I feel like Martinelli is further away from what we need than Kai. I think Kai will have good games. He will score. He will do his thing. But I do think we need something else on that left-hand side. I'm done.
Shoot
And
me. Go on, go on.
But I think a left winger is probably easier to identify. A young player that's talented, a player that, whatever, than a striker. I just think that's a summer signing. I don't want us to rush and get somebody that doesn't really move the needle, but I think you're more likely to be able to identify a left winger than you are a striker in January. So I would say that we don't need right now, we don't need a midfielder. I think we're fine in midfield at the moment. We need one long term for sure, but we're not going to get one in January. You know that.
Shoot me. I'm signing the 8. I'm signing the 8.
You're signing an 8?
I don't think you're wrong.
But
I don't think for what I don't know. For what it's worth, I don't think you're wrong in that. Yeah, we love a striker. That's a summer thing. Left winger, if Martinelli's not doing the business, I don't think you're wrong. But for me, I think you see a better Declan Rice. I think you see many. Like I just need to see an 8. I need to see that Cesc Fabregas, Santi Cazorla. But you are right in that we're kind of cool in that position.
I feel like that's a summer signing, but I get what you're saying. What do you think of, like, I know he signed a new deal and stuff, and he's like the new name on the block. We won't get him, but Reinders.
That's the profile man want, bro. Like that is the midfielder that we need at this club. Like someone that is different to what we have. Like I'm almost upset that you asked me because you know me. Like that needs to be done. That kind of thing needs to be done, man. I would love an inside forward. I love a striker. An 8, man. I'm a Wenger baby. We need that. I know I said last question, but proper last one because I think this one is interesting. Allegedly, a Sky reporter said we're negotiating with Napoli about Kivior. Funny enough, I don't think he should leave in January. But where are you at?
With how thin we are, I feel like that would be a little, Calafiori hasn't really shown a level of fitness. Tomiyasu is probably in Japan. I don't think he's even in London.
Are we even going to see him this season now?
Yeah, so I feel like as much as I think Kivior needs to be moved on, like, I think we can.
You reckon Kivior needs to be moved on? I thought he was better pass and could pass the ball and that.
He can. He's shown it.
Right. Kivior could pass the ball.
But yeah, I like Kivior, but maybe he's somebody that you can move on. But in January feels a little bit because of how we have so many injuries, back there. So I wouldn't. But the only way that I do this is some sort of make weight or handshake.
Like KK guy.
That's the only.
We're dreaming though, man. I'm on that as well. If he knocks off 20, dare I say 30 million, and you make up the difference, let's get it done. But where I don't buy it is Kivior was always linked with them Italian clubs, and he was linked with bare of them in the summer. You didn't go. Yeah. Me personally, unless there's a makeshift world where you sign another defender, Kivior, if you want to leave in the summer, that's your business. In January, you're staying. I don't care if you're not happy with your football, you need to stay. But Jess, this has been amazing. What I would say to Carmard, calm down. Jess is obviously very beautiful, but relax, man. Like, just calm the fuck down, my guy. Jess, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, search bar. Just put in Jessica Black or She Knows Arsenal. I'll pop up. I'm doing a vlog while I go to Cosm to watch Arsenal versus Fulham. So that'll be fun. So Cosm is like the dome that you can watch, games in, and it feels like you're on the pitch. Arsenal Vision has done like a lot of stuff with them, and they're right down the street from me. And I went for Wrexham versus Barnsley. It was crazy. So I'm going for the Fulham game, and I'm going to do like a little vlog. So you guys will be able to see that because I'm not going to do like a watch along, but I do.
Where can people see that?
Yeah, She Knows Arsenal in the search bar. It'll be like a actual vlog for YouTube. And then you guys can follow me on like Instagram at Jessica Black TV. I just had a thing with the Premier League USA come out on TikTok. Jessica Black TV.
Like I said, she blessed us with her time, people. She's big time now. Like you really need to smash the like button.
You're on freaking TalkSport. Like next, you'll be on what is it called? Saturday Social.
I would love to be on that. To be fair, stay tuned.
I'm talking it into a
surprise over the weekend. Stay tuned.
Oh really?
Allegedly. Allegedly, I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. There might not be no watch along. I don't know. But
oh my gosh, cool.
We're trying to be like she knows Arsenal, Jessica Black. We're trying to be like you. We appreciate you giving up your time. And
oh my gosh.
some man are doing the most.
Anytime. I mean, I'm the one who put this together, but yeah, okay. Right.
No, don't do that. No, you wasn't.
Every week I'm like, you want to do a stream?
You snaked it last week. What are you talking about? And you snaked it the week before. Don't do that.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah,
don't let lie to you.
Okay, and everybody say hello to the cutie Beckham.
Say hello to cutie. That dog's on his last legs, man.
Oh my gosh, he's not even one yet.
No, that dog is ugly.
He's not. He's so cute. You're such a meanie.
Next time you go to the vet, they're gonna say, "Yo, Jess, you need to put that down." Like, look at it. Look, it's dying and that. Like, what? But you could never tell me that's a healthy dog. Where's the other one? Bring the other one. The other one's healthy. This one's an idiot thing.
What?
This dog's dead. Look, it's dying, man. Look at his eyes going 2 different ways, man. It's an idiot thing. You just need to get 2 bullets and. Look. He doesn't even know what's going on. He's like, hey, Jess. It's an idiot thing. See, rah, the dog's touching your face. What you did, Jess?
You're just jealous.
Do you let the dog? Nah, definitely jealous. Do you let the dog lick you?
No, he doesn't get to lick me. But he does love
touching his face. It's a dog. It's a mongrel. Oh. Put that in the back garden. Look at him. Look, he's dying. He's dying.
He's bored of what you're saying now.
The dog don't even like you. He's like, yo, where's my food, man? I got things to do, man. But on a serious note, people, go on. Look. That dog is ugly as fuck, man.
No, he's adorable. You're just a hater.
You call that adorable? Okay, I kind of get the vibe as to the sort of men you like. You don't like the Wakanda settings where you don't like us people. But anyways, people, I mean, she likes me. But anyways, smash the like button. Follow Jess. We're out.